Forgetting God's grace creates a space that will be filled. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. I'm Chris Bailey, and I'm grateful that you've decided to remember to study the Word of God and being a part of this fellowship where we're looking at the story of Joshua, the Exodus out of Egypt and into the Promised Land, the reality and the warning against forgetting. And one of the reasons why a computer is so amazing is that a computer is really a reflection of how God has designed us. You have the hard drive, right? And the hard drive, that's where the data is recorded, where all the commands and inputs in order for then the machine to execute or to do what it does. Same thing with us. We have this computer, the mind, and the data and the space for that data. When we forget, it's almost equal to deleting. Not that it didn't happen, but when we don't remember, for us mentally, it is as if it never happened. And that space and that void creates an opportunity to overwrite other data, new data, information. And the enemy knows that. It's why nature abhors a vacuum. And the same warning goes for our minds. So before we go here, I want to thank you for watching. You remembered to spend some time in the Word. We appreciate that. Hit the like button to help others find this video. And we would love for you to join the Change Ministry family. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And of course, pass this on to someone else. And if you want us to come to your church or school, it doesn't matter how near or far. All you have to do is send us an email address. And that email address is down in the description. So for right now, let's get up into the Word. Because it's now here in Judges that we're going to see a principle start to kick in. That when we forget, in other words, when there's a space or the data is removed, and one of the things you're going to see happen is that when you see this data has been deleted, that there's new space, that there's new data put in, which leads to a different way of life, a different habit or outcome. For example, in Judges chapter 3, verse 7, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. Now, why and how are they doing this evil? Well, they forgot the Lord their God and served Balaam and the groves. So you see what happens. The forgetting creates this space. But what happens now? In that void, Balaam steps in to fill it. The same thing happens to us when there's an emotional, mental, or even spiritual space that is even created by forgetting. Please catch this, because it's not that the data wasn't acquired. It's not that they didn't know God, but when they turn from him, when we forget what he has done, that forgetting creates a space for the enemy to come in. In fact, when you look in Judges chapter 8, verse 34, the children of Israel remembered not the Lord their God, who delivered them out of the hands of all their enemies on every side. Neither showed they kindness. Now look what has happened. They have forgotten, so look at their activity, look at their lifestyle. Neither showed they kindness to the house of Jerubbaal, namely Gideon, according to all the goodness which he had showed unto Israel. Do we see what's happening? This space is creating an opportunity for the enemy. Jesus said it best when he was talking about warning against leaving our hearts open and empty, because what happens? Once he has freed us from one demon, if we don't let Jesus in, what happens? The demon comes back, brings others with it and says, this has been upgraded. This has been renovated. It's more space for more of us. That's what happens, or that's what can happen when we forget. So one more verse of encouragement, and that's in Psalm 78 says that the generation to come, now this is where it really kicks in, so that the generation to come, them even, the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. Not forget, but keep. What's another way of saying not forget? Remembering and keep. And the power of remembering is that if I can remember it, that means I can receive it. I can actually do it because I know God's done it before.